All right. Well, it's official, guys. We have a new president. Biden just preemptively pardoned Dr. Fauci. Wow. Like ever since Trump was elected, these guys, this organized crime syndicate, has been put on full, exposure. They have just come out of the closet and just decided to make moves. They just decided to make moves that just are exposing their every, who they really are. So this organized crime syndicate of the Biden administration, is on full display. So, yeah, exactly. I'm excited for the new president too. Guys, I've got some really exciting news. Stay with me for the duration of this. You definitely want to be sure to hear what I have to say. If you are not subscribed to the My DeFi Guru YouTube channel, guys, you got to go there. You got to be a part of the private community. I've done several videos. I did one this morning. I did one yesterday. We talked about the Trump coin, how I made 186% in 12 hours. Profit, pure profit. I made several $1,000s in 12 hours, guys. Like I said on the broadcast yesterday, I made more in 12 hours than some people make in a month. And this is the power of being educated. That's a great question. Blue light before. However, I have to say this before I get into the content, guys. You need to know, you need to be reminded that I'm not a financial advisor, and the information that I'm about to share with you is not considered financial advice, and it is based upon voices that we follow, voices, okay? And let me get rid of this banner. Don't forget, guys, if you're on Facebook and you want me to see your comments, I'm not going to see them unless you have connected your Facebook to StreamYard. All you got to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and get on the train. Test the prophetic words for yourself. Many people tested it last year when I released my dream of XRP going up by Christmas, and many people tested it false. They decided that it was some go-go juice, some jungle juice, some functified, demonic stuff, and they made their decision, right? And we made our decision, right? And so it's up to you to test your testing, right? All right. I like this comment here. It says, I follow Jesus Christ. However, people misunderstand my pursuit of finances and call it contradictory. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy is people pursue finances every day that accuse you of pursuing finances. They show up for work and they work 8 to 12 hours a day for pennies on the dollar, literally, and they don't understand the gift that God gave us with wisdom in the form of stewardship. What if we could steward our time? Exactly. That's right. Exactly. And so what if we could steward the time that God has given us and produce more by doing less? Isn't that the point? So, however, the people who are bound by wrong. All right, let me talk about XRP, guys. I told you to stick with me For those of you guys who have, and I'm talking about just on this broadcast, but I'm custom today. Custom representing my DeFi guru water bottle, representing our Georgia branch of ministry, led by Pastors David and Courtney, incredible people. But let me share with you what I'm really excited about, and that is God just saved America. Now, it's not over. There was even a prophetic word that in 20 years from now, that the news headlines would read, God saved America. So, you know, what was it? Bob Jones, who prophesied years ago that between the years of 2020 and 2040, that America would hang in the balance of communism. So we saw what happened in 2020. Now, I have a prophetic word that I need to release to you guys. And I need you to know. Now, before I do, I got to tell you where to get XRP for pennies on the dollar, because why would you want to wait on that, right? No, you're not, Sherry. You're watching us. Quit lying. This is hilarious. They did that on my broadcast earlier. Somebody else said the same thing. I'm like, well, no, you're not. You're commenting on ours. All right. No, I was watching President Trump just during the time that he was getting inaugurated. I loved the fact that they were playing continual, worship or hymnal music in the background. Yeah, no, I get it, Sherry. I get it. But God is in the process of saving America. Now, I got to share with you this prophetic word. Let me tell you about XRP real quick. Shoot. Hold on. I got to tell you about this word, guys, really quickly. It was released by Barry Weish, the Canadian Hammer, as he's called. Then you need to go back and watch my video about that nonsense. All right. Let's do this. I want to read this to you real quick. Or you could read it with me. My private community, the links, everything's in the description section, guys. Please read the description section. It has the link to my private community. I mentioned this on yesterday's broadcast, and definitely subscribe to my crypto channel, because that's where I post stuff that that I don't share. This guy right here. Subscribe to this channel. I've been transitioning. I did a video this morning saying, that this is why I'm streaming only to this platform, and I'm not streaming all to my others. Now, right now I am, but I said that, I told everybody it was happening and I was making this transition. And so some people are going to think nothing's going on because they never went over there and subscribed. All right, let's read this word real quick. Prophetic warning. Barry Weish, the Canadian Hammer. Hang on. Wunsch. I'm not too familiar with this guy. He's very popular. I don't follow him per se, but he basically said, tell my people there's a great illusion coming in the sky. Now, Joseph Z has prophesied about this. The enemy's about to pull some things out of his bag of tricks. You're about to see a show that is not real. It's a massive plan to bring and release fear into the earth. The evil kings and rulers, the cabal and the deep state are being used as pawns to the enemy to usher in the one world government. This is bigger than America the Beautiful. Warn my people that the illusion in the sky is intended to provide a veil for these cabal evil kings to bring harm to the nations. The enemy has created a plan so elaborate, so deceptive that even the very elect can be deceived. It is multi-layered to impact not only righteous leaders coming into power, but to ignite global conflict that will try to tip the scales against my plans and destinies for the nations. Pray and fast. Prepare to stand up. The clock is ticking. Things will soon be underway. The countdown is on the clock. There's no stopping what is coming. Watch and see with your own eyes what I am about to do. Follow my lead. Gird yourselves up in the spirit. Push back fear. Push back the enemy. There's being a revolution being released across the nations. And I'm bringing visitations to those who I am calling forward at this time. Okay, visitations, right? We've talked about the XRP encounter that I had, as well as several other things that I've experienced. So basically, there's about to be some delusions that some people, I've even heard some prophets state. I've even heard some prophets state that many will not be able to discern what is right in front of them in the coming days. Literally, it'll be clear as day, but they won't be able to see it because of how deceptive these tactics are about to be. So, all right, now let's talk about how to get pennies, crypto for pennies on the dollar. All right. Oh, I got to share really quickly. Charlie Shamp released a prophetic word that the economy is getting ready to do very well in the United States, that Trump and, now I don't know how long that's going to last, because you got these prophetic words about things crashing. You got these prophetic words about things taking off. And that's where people get confused, because they're like, which is it? And the reason is remember, I talked about this years ago, even in 2019, and I posted a post where I said, I feel like we're entering into a time where it's going to be the best of days and the worst of days. And even on Brandon Biggs's vision that he had with the dinar and the stock market, he says they were all celebrating that they had just raked in millions. And then they lost it all because they did not see the name of the business that was written on the copper pot with the ripples in it. Remember? All right. So, so here is what I need to share with you. We know, according to the prophets of what they've said, every single one, not a single one is contradictory on this, not a single one. But it's up to you to test it, because this is not financial advice. This is based upon voices that people are hearing, okay? People have asked me. In fact, I had a guy comment on my post the other day. And he says, why are you so negative about a flash crash? He said, wouldn't it be a fair God to allow us to buy XRP for pennies on the dollar? If you don't think God has been fair because he doesn't fit inside your box, then you are going to have a lot of problems in your relationship with God in submission, because submission is the attribute for everything else that warrants blessing. You cannot coerce God to be like, can we go back in time and allow me to trust in the prophets this time? However, you can still trust in them. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. Many people are saying to me, do you think there's going to be a dip? Do you think there's going to be a dip? Do you think there's going to be a dip? Do you think there's going to be a dip? Do you think there's going to be a flash crash? Do you think this is the dip? With what the prophets have stated is getting ready to happen for XRP, you have the full and complete capability to still be purchasing XRP for presumably, I have to throw that in there, pennies on the dollar. Because people are looking at XRP through the lens of their own understanding. And they're saying it's gone up, 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 up. And like we're at the peak according to what we see. This is when you can know if you see according to the spirit or if you only see in the natural. If you don't realize that we are still in XRP for pennies on the dollar, then I don't know what you've been missing, because I've been quoting the prophetic words and my prophetic dream that has already come to pass all this time, where he showed me to leave the majority in. It's on sale. Hang on, I got to pull the right comment up. Where do we get it on sale? In the description section below, where it says how to buy XRP. Okay? I put a link there to where anybody can buy XRP, literally. Guys, I'm telling you right now, especially with what just transpired, you've heard the man talking about, okay, let's go back a little bit and just kind of make sure that even the simple-minded can understand this, okay? And I'm one of those people. I like people to deliver things to me, you know, as if I'm a fifth grader, right? Give me the basics, give me the nuts and bolts, right? And here's the deal. You go back into August of 2024, when God gave me the dream, and he says XRP is going to take off in a week to a week and a half. He's going to begin to take off. Remember that word? He said begin. It's going to begin to take off in a week to a week and a half. I didn't understand all the coding at the time. He always speaks in codes. That's what his word reveals. And so I originally thought it was going to be a week to a week and a half from that day. And then he gave me another code in another dream, 92 cents. And then 3 months, was it 2 months and 3 weeks later? I think it was just under 3 months. Yeah, September, October. Yeah, 2 months and 3 weeks later. 2 months and 3 weeks later. This is right. Exactly, JDLT, right. Just like when Bitcoin was $3. Exactly, guys. This is what we're talking about here. So, watch this. He showed me those two things. And then on November the 5th, President Trump gets elected. Right after he did what nobody saw him doing. He was talking kind of pro crypto in 2024. It's, you know, like it's just, we got to be conservative in how we share information and kind of, you know, be very honest and not try to, exaggerate facts. But the fact is that not many people saw what Trump was coming in with until like the 2 weeks before the election, maybe 3 weeks. This man went from about 5% pro crypto in all of his speech to where this guy was going like so aggressive, where he said tax free to every U.S. crypto-based company. Maybe we'll pay off the national debt with Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be made in America. I mean, comments that are just like almost like we're gonna replace everything with, we're gonna make everything crypto. And you're just like, he went from zero to crypto hero in, I'm talking specifically for crypto. Nobody saw this stuff coming, but God knew it. And this is what I try to tell people about the prophetic. You can say you predicted this and that and this when there's like a 50-50 chance in anything in life. But nobody saw this coming like this. Nobody. Some people say, oh, XRP's utility. XRP's utility. Right. I will be honest with you. Without everything that is happening right now with Trump and crypto, XRP wouldn't have even lived to see its fullness. Its fullness. It would have lived and it would have done well, but it wouldn't have lived to see the fullness of what we're all about to see. And I have been saying, I believe God's getting ready to do a shock and awe. Brandon Biggs saw it go to $5, but he also saw it go to 10,000. I don't know what's getting ready to happen. I don't know how soon. I know it's getting ready to go up. $5 is a generous. Oh, and I just got a notification. Watch this. XRP is on the move. You ready for this? The price is down 3.82% in the last 9 hours to $3.16. Well, there you have it. Because at 324 this morning, it was at 328.5 cents. Almost 329. Now it's at what did it say? 313. Okay, there you go. Go get yourself some XRP. Okay, guys. All right. I'm telling you, man, like people do not understand what's taking place right now. People do not understand what's taking place right now. I'm just saying. They don't understand what's taking place right now. And they think that they missed the boat because XRP rose. Do you know that just 12 days ago, XRP was an entire $1 cheaper? 12 days ago. And that jump happened in a matter of just a couple of days. It like grew. It went from $2 to $3. So it basically 50% increase practically overnight. And you think that you're late to the party. You think you missed the boat. And this is what I said from the beginning, is I said, you're going to have these people where it's going to spike and they're going to think they missed it. And then it's going to spike again and they're going to think they missed it. And it's going to spike again. And it's like, at what point are you going to say, dang it? especially when Joseph Z has been prophesying about this for years now. And he shared a clip of all of his prophetic words, some 2022, 2023, 2024. And he says, XRP is the only one that the Lord has shown me. He says, and the reason why I believe is because he's also shown me that it's going to be the most stable during the economic and entire financial overhaul and transition, where everything that we know it economically and financially with banking systems and all these different things are going to be obsolete, and we're going to be switching over to digital currency. He says this one is going to be, and you got people that are like, oh, like I feel good because I have thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank. He also said that somehow at some point the money in the banks would become property of the banks. He's like, I don't know how, but this is what I saw. Now, I don't know how either, but the point is like, you know, he also didn't know how Donald Trump would had blood dripping down his face when he saw the bullet go by his head in his vision. He said it didn't hit him, but I saw blood dripping down his face. So he assumed it must have been a busted eardrum. So we can assume a lot when God gives us the deets. We can assume a lot when God gives us the details. But before it comes to pass, that's the problem in how they missed Jesus when he came and manifested right in front of them. The Messiah that was prophesied. Because when God gives the deets, right, you can literally miss by trying to presume how it'll work out. This is why, like the freaking mark of the beast stuff, everybody's like, oh, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast, this. I'm like, listen, you think everything's the mark of the beast. They thought everything was going to be the mark of the beast. The www internet, the freaking social security numbers, like everything has been presumed to be the mark of the beast. The problem is they keep leaving out the important parts of the scripture that determine what makes it the mark of the beast. Not just the fact that it has to do with something on the right hand and the forehead. It involves a lot more. Yes, buying and selling, but even way more than that, like even the biggest factor, that they would be forced to worship it. Forced to. And that is the deciding factor, guys. Like you can presume all day long, and this is why it's best to just wait it out on prophecy sometimes, unless you get certain clear instructions, like XRP going up by Christmas, kind of that was good. And so in the description section, be careful of the comments. I always say be careful of the scammers in the comments. In the description section, there's the link for my private community. Okay, there's the link for all sorts of different things. If you're on Facebook and I can't see your comments right now while I'm streaming, it's because you never connected. But in the description section, guys, is the link to my private community. It's also the link to where to buy XRP. It's also the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my crypto YouTube channel. Yeah, exactly. Right. The Amazon Palm, oh yeah, the UPC code. That's right. The UPC code. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. UPC barcodes. Correct. That's good. And that's the thing. It's like, like, of course, all of it is like, all of it is based upon all the same technology and mindset. And it is the mind of the Babylonian system, absolutely at work. And it will all eventually lead to that. But we're not worshiping the devil by scanning our can of green beans at the grocery store. We're not worshiping the devil by being an American citizen and being issued a social security number. We're not. And this is my point. It's not the mark of the beast until it becomes the mark of the beast. Stop saying crypto is the mark of the beast. It's all going to be, barcodes were the prelude to the one world system. The internet, www, like it all really is at the end of the day. The problem is it's not that yet. And that's the point, is like, it's like there are specific elements. I talk about how the devil's playground is in the inability to compartmentalize. Like, this over here is not necessarily this over here. What the enemy does in our minds is he tries to jumble it all together so that you throw the entire thing out. That's exactly what he did in the first original sin, guys. If you look at the book of Genesis, and God says, don't eat of that one tree. Do you know what Satan said when he came to Adam and Eve? He said, did God really say to not eat of every single tree in the stinking garden, man? You see what he did there? He exaggerated it so elaborate to where you, the receiving person, like hearing this, you're like, oh my God, you're right, snake. Well, I almost fell for that too, right? Like, you know, like I can't, now he doesn't want me to eat, you know, you know, like, do you understand what I'm saying? He took this thing where it was this very compartmentalized thing. Just don't, you can do whatever you want. Just don't touch that tree right there. Cool. And the devil comes along and he's like, oh, now he wants you to starve, you know, and like, no, not at all, you know? And it's like, but that's what the enemy does. He exaggerates and he just tries to get everything all twisted up into one big freaking pretzel. So you throw the whole thing out. That's exactly how this stuff works. That's why all these freaking people that are just screaming and crying and, you know, beating their head against an oak tree out in the forest somewhere, worshiping trees because, you know, Trump got elected. You know, that's why they're out there, because they are unable to see, you know, what's right in front of them, because they still believe, you know, the what we've just been unbidened by what has been. My gosh. All right. So XRP is on sale right now, I believe, guys. I'm telling you right now, people have been saying it. Prophets have been saying it. And just because it's $3, this is what people don't understand. Come on. All right. Let's just do the math. Okay. It's $3 and what was it? 313. Okay. Let's just say 313. And let's say you bought, I don't know, $10,000 worth divided by 3.13. So you owe $31.94 Bitcoin. Okay. You bought 10K worth at 313 and you now own 3,194 Bitcoin. I'm sorry, XRP. Why did I say Bitcoin? You now own 3,194 XRP. Every wallet you put it in, it's going to suck 10 XRP out of there. So let's just say you have it diversified into 3 different wallets. Oh, yeah, that's all in my crypto course. So now you delete 30 XRP from that, and you have 3,164 XRP. Brandon Biggs says it's going to go up to 10K. Prophet Toby Ariomi just shared a video the other day, and I just released it, that he said the Lord told him in a dream a few years ago that one day he would be a billionaire on XRP. Billionaire. This was a dream he had a few years ago. And so Brandon Biggs said he saw it going to 10,000. This was what, a year or two ago that he said that? All right. So God's been speaking to these prophets of God for a couple of years. He gave me the dream in August of last year. Watch this, okay? 3,164 XRP is now what you're left with after losing 30 because you diversified into 3 wallets. Fine. By the way, the board can change that down the road. Ripple, they can actually say that we're decreasing the mandatory hold to 5 XRP. And so then you'll be released 5 of your XRP. All right. Something like that. They could do all of that. As it rises, I can imagine that they can do that. Okay. 3,164. Oh, that's good. You've got right about where we're at. Okay. So 3,164. Okay. And you bought it today at 313. Watch this. And he says it goes up to 10,000. Remember what I said earlier about how we describe things to where we're not exaggerating and we have to be conservative sometimes just for the sake of the skeptic and all these different things. So watch this. Let's just say it doesn't even reach, I don't know, let's just do a quarter of 10,000. And let's just say it's worth $2,500 now. $2,500. You put 10K in. 10K at 313 today. When it reaches $2,500 a coin, you now possess 7,912,000 $220.4472843. Let's say the dollar crashes, doesn't matter. You're going to still have the value of whatever XRP. We're just measuring it in dollars today. The point is, if you put in $10,000 right now at $3.13 a coin, which is the price. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. You got this guy in the comment section a few days ago that said, you don't think it, he says, why are you so negative about a potential flash crash? You don't think God is a fair God to let us buy it for pennies on the dollar? It's freaking pennies on the dollar right now, folks. That's my point. If you've been missing that this whole time, then maybe you have not been listening through the understanding of the prophetic. Maybe, see, this is where it becomes revealed in our life. Now, I have to throw the disclaimer out, guys. It's up to you to test the prophetic. Understand that. And I said this earlier in the video. Some people tested my dream. But when I released it back in August, they called me all sorts of names, false prophet, and all these different things. All the while, XRP took off just like God said it would by Christmas. Glory to God. And they tested it, and they're living in the result of their test. I tested it, and I'm living in the result of my test. You guys tested it, and you're living in whatever area you determined to test it for yourself. We all tested it. That's what we're supposed to do. The problem is, what I believe the future holds for each and every one of us is maybe those who may have tested it and discovered that they got it wrong. Maybe they want to live out the rest of the path here, because that's what repentance is all about. It's about saying, coming down off of our high horse and saying, whoops, that was kind of cool how that all happened. And I was the big Debbie Downer and the negative Nancy the whole time and never thought it was going to happen. Thought old dude was a scammer from the beginning and, never trusted in anything that he said because I have a spirit of suspicion, but I don't know that. And, all these different things, right, going on. And now, Rhino, are you going to be all right? I mean, you might get blocked by YouTube if you keep that up. I mean, I'm going to bring your comment up on the screen because I appreciate the celebration. I think it's a day to be celebrating for sure, folks. But yeah, man, I agree. I agree, William. I agree. Oh, by the way, I have the link down in the description section, guys, about how to get a crypto-based IRA. I did my research and found an incredible company where you guys can convert and roll over a 401k. Okay? To an entirely crypto-based IRA where all they do is invest in crypto. So the economy of the U.S. is about to take off, according to what Charlie Shamp said. And I don't know if that's going to be, see, this is the timing of these prophecies, because when he shared this, and this was just the other day, he said the Lord showed him that, in fact, let me just read it to you guys, because it is a really, this is why it's so difficult to he released another word. Man, I just said Charlie Shamp, and he's the top post on my Facebook. So there's about to be a war on drugs. Now, I remember his prophetic word about the spirit of pharmakia coming down in this country, and that the pharmaceutical industry was about to be exposed and all these different things. However, I have to read this to you. This is the word that he released yesterday. He said, On Thursday night, January 16th, 2025, this was literally 4 days ago during our prophetic prayer summit, I was preparing to transition the meeting, and I suddenly saw the hand of God and the voice of the Lord say, I have a gift for you. America, I have a gift for you. I then witnessed the hand of God placing clay into the hand of President Trump. Curious, I asked the Lord, what is this gift? He replied, this is the new American system. I saw President Trump place the clay on a spinning wheel, and then I heard the Lord declare, this will bring a turnaround to the nation's economy. I'm going to turn it around. As the wheel began to spin, the clay transformed into a fine porcelain container. The Lord continued, this will be the new American system. Even your enemies will have to yield to it. I will turn around the nation's economy with a third great revolution, a revolution of innovation that will bring prosperity. A revolution of aerospace technology your enemies will not be able to resist. They will have to give into it. Okay, this is interesting, though, because now that I read this again, I'm remembering Barry Wunsch's prophetic word that I just read you earlier on the live. Remember? Let me pull it up here. Earlier on the live, I read for you Barry Wunsch's prophetic word, where he said, watch this, there is a revolution being released. This is exactly what Charlie Shamp just said in his post. There's a revolution. So when you ask the question, whoa, you're like, hang on a second. You got prophetic words about the stock market crashing. Now you got a prophetic word about the America's economy turning around. And this is what I'm talking about. If you don't understand how the prophetic works, many people believe that in order for it to be prophetic, that it's got to happen in the next 3 months. No. Toby Ariomi, in that video that I released on my page, he was saying on the 8th of this month, he said, the Lord showed me years ago in a dream that XRP would take off. And it would come up, and then it would come back down. And he said, and this is where we're at right now. He says, the Lord told us to get out of our positions up here. And now, and then he says, we heard the word buy, buy, buy. And he says, and then it took off. And he said, and the price went so high. He never mentioned the number. He said, the price went so high that the Lord showed me that I became a billionaire on XRP. And some people misinterpreted that. And they're like, oh, there's a dip coming. There's a dip coming. He's like, that was the dip. And that was on the 8th. That was on the 8th of the month when it was $2.13. Now it's $3.13. And so according to him, that dip or the crash or whatever people were looking for, and even the one prophecy that I got where the prophet said, in the first quarter of 2025, XRP is going to take off. He says, after it dips, he says, there's going to be a pullback. And he says, people are going to be wondering what's going on. And I bet you all this time, since Christmas, probably, people have been sitting here wondering what's going on. I've been wondering what's going on. But I trust in what God has been saying. And he says, that prophet, different prophet now, said the same thing. He said, but after the pullback, when it takes off, he says there's going to be nothing that stops it. Nothing that stops it. Where are your cash reserves? I'm asking you, what do you have that you are trusting in? Too many people trust in their stock market. Too many people trust in their 401k. Too many people trust in their, whatever. I trust in the word of the Lord. And this is what the critics and the haters and the naysayers and all these people, this is what they accuse me. Like I had one girl who literally commented on my post. She said, God would never speak to you about anything pertaining to money because you love it. So you love it too much. That's what she said. And I'm like, honestly, I would do whatever God told me to do with my money. And I have. Do you know before we got, I don't think I've shared this with you guys, but I probably did. I share a lot. Before we got our miracle house, the big testimony that you guys have heard 1,000 times, do you know God asked me to give our home away? And, you know, and I didn't know like what this was supposed to look like. I was just walking in obedience. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to, you know, sell it and give the proceeds to somebody. But I just knew that God was saying, I want you to give up your house. And I'm like, all right. And I even called a realtor in to say, what do I need to do in case like this is supposed to be a sale? And then I give the proceeds to somebody. I was just being obedient. And I had a prophet friend of mine who prophesied to me, and he says, I feel like the Lord is saying he was just testing your heart, kind of like he did with Abraham to see if you would do it. You know, when he asked him to sacrifice Isaac, and he says, in the moment he saw your yes, it was over. You're done. You're good. He says, I really feel that is what God is saying. And I'm like, oh, okay. Shortly thereafter was when God caused us to step out and to move into the motorhome and to believe for this miracle house. And guys, it was just, I mean, the whole freaking story is just ridiculous. The fact that we got it for pennies on the dollar, the fact that we got it for exactly 30,000 below asking price, which is exactly what a prophet had prophesied to us, that exact number. And in the middle of a market where people were having bidding wars, 20% over asking price, cash offer, sight unseen, it was in the middle of that prime of the market. I'm just like, how on earth? I'm going to tell you how. Because God tested my heart and he found me, tried and apparently passed the test, and to where, you know, and like, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. God will bless the people who he determines their heart, not you and not even me, him. And you got the people in the comment section who are looking through the lens of their heart. You know, I always say witchcraft accuses others of what it is doing. Do you see how they've gone after Trump legally? In just about, they have tried to tear him down with the court systems, throwing everything that they could throw at him. All the while, they were the ones that were breaking the law. Now you can see as Biden pardons his whole family, his kids even. Why? Because he's been using them as outsources for all of his money laundering operations. Hey, would you just open a bank account here and we just need to put a few $1 million in there? Is that cool? Okay, your turn. They've said this. Hunter Biden had how many suspicious reports from the banking system that was turned in by the banking system? More than you would ever possibly imagine. Suspicious reports. Anyway, so my point is, guys, it's 313 right now. I just did the math. If you put $10,000 in this, okay, fine, you don't have $10,000. Fine, you don't have $10,000. If we do the math and you only have 1,000, then we take what we just did and we bought XRP today at 313, where it was when I was talking, 316 now. But whatever, we'll just stick with the 313 price. Watch this. And I said, if you put 10,000 in and it only went to 25% of what the prophets are saying it's going to go to, 10,000 a coin. Let's say it only goes to 25% of that and it only reaches 2,500 a coin. You just banked 7.9 mil on a 10K investment. Fine. You don't got 10K. Let's divide that by 10 and say you only have 1K. You only have 1,000 to put it in. Fine. You're going to have $791,000 off of $1,000. If this comes to pass at only a quarter of what was prophesied. And remember, it's up to you to test all this stuff, just like you were supposed to test the XRP dream that I had in August of last year. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say, well, that's Song Lee says, but when? That's another reason why I chose XRP reaching $2,500. Because let's say it does reach 10K a coin, but that would take 10 years to get to. But it'll reach 2,500 in 3 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a number of reasons we could have been conservative in our numbers. My God. And then if it hits 10K, oh boy. Then if it hits 10K, well, then you take that 7.9 million that you invested $10,000 today to receive. And now you multiply that 7.9 million by 4, because remember, we only added that up to 1/4 of what was prophesied to be true. So now if your $10,000 was in there and it does hit 10K in your lifetime, you have $31.6 million. Do you understand what I'm saying? Song Lee, even if it took 10 years, $7.9 million, guys, on a 10K. I'm sorry. Even if it took 10 years, you would have 31.6 million. Let's say it took 3 years to get to the 2,500. Fine. You would have 7.9 million on a 10K investment. This is not financial advice, and it is up to you to test this stuff. But this is what I'm putting into perspective in the event that these crazy prophets are accurate. And this is what people don't understand. They're like, oh, you're so negative about buying about a flash crash. Why are you so negative? You don't think God's a fair God, that he would want us to get it for pennies on the dollar? It is pennies on the dollar. I'm telling you, 10 years is right around the corner. Okay, fine. You keep doing what you're doing. Okay, wherever you work. Okay, your McDonald's job, like whatever you do, just keep doing it. Don't listen to the prophets of God. Oh my gosh. Fine. I do not suffer from that decision. We all have to eat the fruit of whatever decision that we make. That's why I said when I shared my dream in August, everybody was supposed to test it. I told them to test it. Some people tested it false. Some people tested it true. Both of us are getting to eat the fruit of our discernment today and tomorrow. So, and this is my point. Like, people think, oh, I missed my chance. I wish I'd have listened to, John and his dream, back when it was 47 cents. And, well, you win some, you lose some, No, you still like this. What if this is the mercy of God? What if you're going to wake up in a year and you decided, all right, fine, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to, determine what my risk capital is. Guys, if I had any available debt to leverage right now, I would even go in further. I'm telling you. And, oh man, let me give you the link if you want to. This is absolutely ridiculous if you were to do something like this. It would be so stupid, but I did it. In the comments that I just posted the link to how to buy crypto with a credit card. You're able to do this if you so choose. And you have to understand that if you were to buy crypto with a credit card, you have to face the responsibility of paying that back if crypto went south and you didn't actually profit. You would have to pay that back from any other resource that you would have income from. And if you didn't, you would default. So I have to be very clear on the risk that you would be taking. But I took that risk because I'm a Jesus baller, okay? I am a Jesus baller, all right? I take big risks for the Lord, right? It's for me, it's Jesus or bust, because that King of Kings and Lord of Lords has led me better than I've ever led myself on my absolute best day. Oh, you're right. Why is that not working? Hang on. Oh, maybe hang on. I gotta figure out what's going on here. All right. I will make it work. That's right. And they will buy in at $129. You know, when they're like, when they don't believe, you know, what it is. All right, here we go. Courses. I'm going to my, boom. I think I changed the link. That's why. Yeah, I did change the link. That's why. All right, that'll work. So this is how you buy crypto with a credit card. Now you gotta be able to pay your bills. You know, the minimum payment for a few months. That's the way I planned myself. All right. And XRP, extreme return potential, right? So Mark says Ninja mentioned buying XLM. All right. Listen, guys. I need to say this. XRP was following Bitcoin until it wasn't. Do you remember when XRP started behaving the opposite of what Bitcoin was doing? And everybody's like, whoa, it's decoupling. XLM follows XRP's rhythms until it doesn't, guys. And I'm telling you, why has every single prophet prophesied XRP but not XLM? I'm just asking. Why? I don't know. And so this is why, you know, sort of. I think that's more of an opinion, Ben's build, because a lot of people would consider XRP the people's coin, because XRP was actually ruled to be a non-security. It's the only coin that has crypto regulatory definition in the United States right now. It's all going to fix and change. However, but right now it's like ruled that it's not a security when it's especially peer-to-peer use case. So so just, I've heard that from several people, and that's kind of like what's circulated out there. but we're about to find out especially with this new administration. And that's the thing is nobody sees what tomorrow holds. I will tell you this though, for being conservative, because I always like to bring balance. Does this mean you couldn't profit bigger on XLM? I want to be very balanced here. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that XLM can't earn you greater percentages. And the reason why is because XLM, let me pull this up for the people who don't understand crypto. So XLM is only worth 44 cents, while XRP is worth $3.15. So the smaller the value of the coin, the greater the spread. And that's why you actually see XLM just came down 5% and XRP only came down 0.09%. And that's kind of my point. Like XLM just kind of, however, you can see the behaviors are very similar. They are. And that's what you look for. You're like, oh, okay, they seem to follow each other until they don't. Because that's kind of like when XRP was taking off recently, XLM was kind of lagging behind. And then it eventually started to come up, but it didn't quite come up as aggressive. But then there's other times where it did even more aggressive because of that spread. It's all based upon spread. That's why Bitcoin moves, yesterday they said it was a crash when it dipped 5%. By the way, I got to bring that up because this is really funny. Well, let me see. Where was yesterday's? What is today? 13th. All right. Then this must have been yesterday's. Yeah, I think this was yesterday's. It is yesterday's. All right. The lady said yesterday, right here, this dip. I think she said like this was when the cabal system was going to be brought in and everything was crashing and burning and, burn the ships. We're all going to die, And then you could see, look at this spike. It was so much more aggressive and went up higher than it was even yesterday. And the point is like, this is just normal behavior, guys. And it's still look at from the top to the bottom, 8% fluctuation. Okay. Not that big of a deal. You go to XLM, however, is this yesterday's? Yes, the 19th. All right. So let's do this. Well, even that's 9%. Well, that tells me that XLM and XRP have basically been holding their own. And that's what we've been seeing when Bitcoin's fluctuating. Okay, XRP is 10% a difference there. So does that mean it rose higher? I don't know. But normally XLM would have a larger spread because that's the whole point is that normally but what I like is that when Bitcoin is dropping, like 5% or whatever, like 8% right here of a difference between the top of this to the bottom of this. And then you go to XRP and you basically go to the same place. It's 11%. Guys, my point is like this used to be so much more aggressive of a dip. And the problem is XRP has been holding its own in this range. Look at this. It's just solid, $3.18 range. Solid. Ever since it came up and broke through that range. Look at this. This $3.18 range right here, all along, it's been holding its own through all these. And that's where you begin to realize that this thing has found a new minimum, right? A new baseline, a new bottom. Can it go lower? Of course, Will it ever? Maybe not. And that's kind of what I'm saying. No, I did not say XLM was going up before XRP. It was a comment that was mentioned on one of our videos, and I've never heard anything about it. And here's the thing, guys. I don't even believe that to be true because back when all this occurred in the very beginning, I don't remember which one went up first, but I think XRP did go up first. I was throwing a chunk on a credit card every month because the 0% expires in November. I started making the minimum payment and putting the rest in crypto. I'm telling you, man, you can really, really bank right now with, it's crazy. He says, I can't afford a credit card. Totally. I totally been there, bro. Totally been there. Totally been there. I totally understand. Right. And I believe that, oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say is that Brandon Biggs said that XRP would be supported by XLM. Do you remember that? In his video, he said XRP would be supported by XLM. So it would be a supporting token. However, you know, XRP would basically be the leader. I'm not quite sure the spread though, and that's where we don't really have a lot of clarity in the prophetic. Would it be wise to take a portion of your XRP holdings and put some into XLM because there's a larger spread with XLM? Potentially. But then there's those things that we don't see that God sees. And why has he not been emphasizing XLM as the wealth transfer coin? Why? That's kind of my point, is that there's, you know, all these prophets, the majority of them that keep seeing XRP, they're not, you know, Joseph Z says, you know, the only one that God has shown me is XRP because I feel like it's going to be the most stable, you know, during the, you know, changeover. Could XLM, you know, I don't know. I don't even want to say what I was thinking. You know, could it do all sorts of different things, right? Well, then you have the other side of that, Dustin. Whereas if XRP pops off and XLM doesn't, kind of like what we, you know, because they have operated differently at times. XRP, that's what I was saying. It took off, and XLM was like the little, you know, baby brother that was lagging behind, you know, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. XRP, you know, in relation to the prophetic, it far outweighs XLM, and you know, it's like look, Dogecoin was prophesied to rise. You know, XLM, XDC, you know, some of the other ones I can't remember. And it's like all well and good, man. Do whatever you want to do with whatever God is saying. But there's something about XRP. And what's, you know, oh, I don't know. Hang on just a second. There was, Here's the other thing that I want to consider as well. I appreciate that, J7. And I know what you're talking about. However, you do have to understand that I was saying earlier that prophecy doesn't always have to happen in a few months period. I think one of the reasons why mine would stand out is because it happened in such a short period of time, which I'm really thankful for, because, you know, I appreciate, you know, the opportunity to not have had to steward that for very long. But I don't know, Steve. The gold is going to take a dip, but then it's going to go up. That was what Toby said. He said it was going to do very well. But, you know, the spread, the gains that you're going to make on XRP is going to be way higher. And some people have asked me, they're like, well, you know, how do I do this to avoid the penalty? You know, like cashing out a 401k and taking a 30%, you know, capital gains hit or something like that. My thought process on that is like, honestly, what's 30% compared to, you know, the percentage of gains that you could make on the back end? So that would be a really difficult decision. And the reason why, and first of all, I appreciate the question, because that shows, yeah, well, listen, you need to connect with the link that I put in the description section of this video, because that company, they do specifically crypto-based IRAs. And good. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely check them out, and, you know, they would probably, yeah, absolutely reach out to them and use my link if you haven't, because you'll get $100. You'll get $100 if you use my link. That's what they told me. We are in exciting times, guys. I'm telling you, you know, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on, you know, potential alien, you know, invasion. Oh gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. Deception though, because remember, that's what Barry once just prophesied. Joseph Z also said the same thing. He says I'm telling you, these people are coming out with this alien deception, and he says people are not even going to know what the heck they're seeing. And now Barry once did not say in his prophecy that that's what he was talking about. He never mentioned aliens, but he did say a big illusion in the sky that would be a way to incite fear. So just be careful with just believing, you know, everything that they're saying is the point. Even with Big T in the White House. For real. For real. By the way, at some point, you know, Toby also said, he's another prophet. Toby also said, you know what's funny? We were actually in Morris County, New Jersey. We were actually in the epicenter of the drones during that whole the climax of that moment. In fact, while we were there, they were starting to be spotted in other regions too. But we were on vacation visiting New York City, and we had one of our Jersey hosts up there let us stay in their condo. And just an amazing time. Guys, God is so good. We prayed for snow and he gave it to us. And I had a dream before we left that I saw snow in New York City. And man, it snowed like 4 times in New York City since then too. And it's like they're like, man, it hasn't snowed in New York City on Christmas Day specifically. And even yesterday, during the inauguration celebration, it was snowing in DC, which is a sign of God's blessing, by the way. I don't know. And it's also a sign of God's cleansing. So snow is actually symbolic of that in the realm of the spirit. So it's really, really cool. Yeah. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, we were in the epicenter of that, and we didn't see any though. We didn't see any. And we kind of joked about it though. We like, in fact, my son, he was like, is that a drone? And it was just a plane, but it's funny. Like 4 inches. Beautiful. Beautiful. I was going to say something. Oh, cash on hand. Toby Ariomi, when he prophesied of this wealth transfer, the video that I posted the other day. Now, I posted this on the 15th. On the 15th. And he had posted it on the 8th. So it was like a week before. And it was back when, remember when he said it, he says, the Lord showed me in a dream. I saw XRP go up and then it came down. And he says, and this is where we're at right now. And he says, and the Lord says, buy, 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 buy. Remember, that's what the prophet prophesied over me when he said that people would begin to wonder on the dip. But the Lord says this would be an opportunity to buy. And then he says, and both of those prophets says, after that, there's going to be nothing that stops it. Nothing that stops it. And Toby says it's going to go so high that I became a billionaire. The Lord showed me. Now, watch this. And so that's why I'm saying, if you want to get if you want to get XRP for pennies on the dollar, go ahead. Go ahead right now is your chance. Like that's according to the prophetic word, but it's up to you to test this. Okay. Test that. Now, what about the cash on hand thing? I'm bringing this up because the cash on hand is what Toby also said. He said, we're going to also need some cash on hand. That is what I believe is going to be connected to the blackout. Remember the blackout, what Joseph Z prophesied, what Brandon Biggs prophesied, and what Joshua Giles prophesied. That there would be a potential EMP attack that would be from China and Russia combined. And in Brandon's vision, he saw this barge driving down the Mississippi River, came into the Gulf of Mexico, turned around, faced the country, and shot off a rocket to release an EMP that would basically wipe out America. And he said in the dream, or in the vision, he heard them saying, it's not going high enough. It's not going high enough. And then it didn't affect all of the area that they wanted it to affect. However, it affected a lot. And he said, and I even commented on his video and I'm like, did you see Florida? Because we're down here. But he did say that, it reached a good portion, from the center of the United States outward. And, but there were some areas that were not affected. And so, during a blackout, what are we going to do? Well, you're not going to be able to trust an XRP at the time. Okay. And so you may want to have some cash on hand. By the way, y'all, I don't even know if I have it here, but I've got to share this with you. Like, do you remember in my vision, in my dream, when I saw myself taking profits? I don't know if I shared this with you. In fact, I haven't thought about it since the beginning. But after the 28th, when I took my distribution that I needed to take to pay some bills, I then saw myself taking little bits at a time, basically scraping off the top as XRP continued to rise. That's what I saw in my dream. And I haven't actually talked about that in a long time. And I actually forgot about it until I was kind of processing this whole deal and determined within myself that that's what I was going to do. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's exactly what I saw, because I remember Aaron in our church saying, well, that's the way you're supposed to do it. And according to, crypto gurus out there that talk about how to, and I'm like, wow, that's actually wisdom even in the natural. So, but that's actually what I saw in my dream. And that's really all I care about is what God says, not so much even human wisdom. So, I'm excited for that. But let me pull this up real quick because I forgot. I don't know if I shared this in this video or not, but guys, if you don't know about this, I'm telling you, this is my favorite place to buy gold and silver because they sell. First of all, they're the cheapest. Nobody's been able to beat the price. Second of all, you can buy little tradable slivers of gold and silver that are going to allow you to have like what would be considered tradable currencies during the time when you might need to trade $10 gold piece or silver piece, a $10 silver piece, for a couple of chickens or something of that nature, right? And so so my point is that I love this company because not only and here's the freaking best part. They have 100% buyback guarantee where watch this, if you ever got into a pinch, this is the best part. If you ever got into a pinch and you needed to buy a left lung or something like that, they would actually buy back from you every bit of all that you've ever purchased from them. They have 100% buyback guarantee. And watch this. They would buy it from you at their current selling price, if you remember. So the current member pricing, in other words, 10 years down the road, if gold skyrockets and you bought it at this price, whatever they're selling it for, then you would be able to sell it to them at this price. They guarantee that 100% buyback guarantee. That's pretty incredible. So not only, but one of my favorite parts, especially with the coming, prophetic words about the challenging times, is to have like these, and you could bury them in your backyard, tradable slivers. Like, who's going to take a hacksaw to a big silver kilo bar, like in the last days, who's got the old fashioned scale that's non-digital anymore, So it's like, for me, I'm like, that's cool because they're at a competitive price point. Of course, you're going to save money if you buy the big, but all of their prices are very, very strong and competitive, and you cannot beat them anywhere. It's incredible. So, and I'm telling you, when I was promoting this, really, because I've been stewarding these prophetic words for a couple of years, guys. I've been trusting in what the prophets say, and and so point is, I've been back in the day when I was really spending a lot of time sharing this. And Toby said on his video, silver is going to go up very, very nice. And that's the thing. See, silver and gold have a large spread in between them. That's the kind of the same understanding of XLM versus XRP. because when gold goes up, silver will go up too. But because the spread is so significant in the pricing, when silver goes up, it can actually earn higher percentages of the increase, if that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I know. I've actually posted the link for the crypto IRAs in the description section, April. Thank you so much. We actually were talking about that before you jumped on, apparently. So, all right, guys, listen, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. Do not forget, be very careful of scammers in the comments. I talk about this all the time, and I'm always deleting their scams. They nasty out there, so be very careful. And oh, that's cool. Yeah, there you go. We have Amish farmers near us who accept silver eagles for food. Good to know. Good to know. I've been saying, find yourself some Amish friends, you know, for the days of the blackout, right? For real. Love you, community. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to my DeFi Guru YouTube channel. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. I've done 2 videos about crypto opportunities, one of which I made 186% profit in 12 hours. 12 hours. 186% profit in 12 hours. And, you know, I made as much as in 12 hours as some people do in a month. And that's not to boast in myself and my success. It's to boast in what God has led us into in this crypto arena. I tell people it's the modern day gold rush, and I absolutely believe that. But I notify people on my crypto channel, you have to go to my crypto channel if you want to see my crypto stuff. And the subscription link is in the description section below. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, you know, hit the bell notification so that you get notified when I go live, as I am right now, right here. In addition to that, my private community is in the description section below. They were the first to hear about that coin, the first. And when you're talking about, when I first saw the Trump coin, it was $5. By the time I got in, it was $8. So it had already gone up. What is that? 60%? 60%. So timing is everything on those types of opportunities. Okay. But for now, I don't, you know, think the meme coins are where it's at. With Trump coming into office, I think XRP is where it's at. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I hear voices and I follow people that hear voices. To God be the glory. Bless you all. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.